Hey, YouTubers and friends, how you doing out there tonight? Absolutely fabulous, I hope, like every week. Tonight, live here at the Flash in Your Pan Studios for Tuesday Night Hangout Live with Toledo Jeff Dano. And we have Redbeard Relic Hunter himself, AG Dowling. So, don't go away. You know the routine. We'll be right back.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Tuesday Night Hangout Live. It's Tuesday night, Hangout Live. It's Tuesday night, Hangout Live. It's Tuesday night, Hangout Live. With your hosts, Ed Marvin, Toledo Jess, and Dano. Tuesday Night Hangout Live is a Flash in Your Pan production.
All right, we're back. Let me unmute all these guys. Jesse, Dano, show your faces. You're up right now.
They don't want to see our faces.
I am the Batman.
Come on, Daniel. There you go.
There. How?
Prospect yourself. How's it going, Mike?
Who? What?
Mike,
Prospector.
evening,
Eminem.
everybody. Along with Luke Duke and Jeremy and Cat Lady,
Yeah.
Jeff,
We're hanging out in there.
Yeah.
and Tom Sawyer, and
Look.
The most greatest moderator.
Best moderator on the internet.
that's right, Mr. Lodak from many different platforms, from GPS.
Without
to
him,
YouTube.
we would be lost.
Luke.
Oh yeah, without our buddy.
Mr. Lodak, Jerry.
Jesse's sister's
Yeah.
here.
Hey, my
Diana.
sister's here.
Yeah.
Hey, sister. Glad you made it home okay.
Michael from Busy Bee Detecting, Ray Moore, Don G, welcome. Josh Booth, another Ohioan. And we have Susan Hamilton in the house, a new member to the Hand of Treasure Hunters.
Hi, Susan.
All the Patreon gifts and Susan's care package was sent out the other day.
Hey, Jack.
Pardon me.
Gee.
They should have them by now or tomorrow. So,
Say hello to Gone Digging there. How's everybody?
Gold Fever Radio.
who?
Gold Fever Radio.
Oh, hey, Jack Tucker, how you doing? Matt, hey.
Tom Sawyer TV. Love watching his magnet fishing.
Yeah,
I
I
was getting ready to order one, but Brute is out of the kits with the carrying case and all.
they'll have them soon enough, brother.
I'll wait till they have them.
I have a magnet.
Hey, what's up, dudes?
Dudes! Audra and Rach is in the house, the Jersey History
Yeah, they
Hunters.
did a live stream today. Doing
Hey,
a test.
sisters. We'll have to get them on again sometime in the
Yep, you bet.
future.
Hey, Gold Rush Day's coming up. You coming, ladies?
That's right. Get your panning on and some swinging, beeping and sweeping. That's right. Don't miss Gold Rush Days every Labor Day weekend at the Swank West.
It's always a great time.
Always. It's
Friendly, great place to take your family. For
big
a weekend.
rendezvous of treasure hunters and us grizzly prospectors.
Yeah, you wanna. I mean, if you really wanted to learn how to pan and look for gold,
That's
that
right.
would be the event to go to.
And we'd
'Cause
help you.
And if you
Well,
want to buy any equipment, there'll be equipment there.
Oh yeah,
equipment, lots of
tons.
people to help teach you.
That's right.
Common digs,
Yeah.
metal detecting,
Yeah.
seated digs.
See,
Hey,
speed
Martin, how's it
panning.
going, buddy?
Martin,
Martin from Golden
Golden
Pay
Pay
Dirt
Reviews.
Reviews, all the way from Brooklyn. How
Yeah.
you doing, ambient
Ambient
girl?
Relic Hunter, how are you tonight?
Welcome, welcome. It's good to see you back.
Yep.
Hey, we have the Flower Gold Wizard from all the way from the shores of Lake Superior. Come on down, dude.
No,
Tell
we
you
need to go
what,
there.
we
need to go
can
over
do
his
that, but he wants some nice size stuff. And we have some places here instead of beach fly poo, ant poo, gnat poo, whatever little tiny poo.
It's gnat parasite poo.
But you know, you're welcome. Come down. Let us know. We'll take you out for sure.
You bet.
Always a bunch of hospitable guys. Hey, a local from
Hospital what?
hospitable guys.
Oh, hospitable. I wasn't sure what you
Hey,
said.
Chris, B3 Relic Recovery, how you doing? He came by the house a week or so ago, dropped me off some cool. He dropped me off a silver $50 for buying one of his shirts, and it was cool having a nice visit with him.
Cool.
He's from St. Mary's, right down the road.
Wow, how about that?
Yeah.
There's a lot of prospectors in Ohio, more than you would think.
Well, yeah, the community's huge for, in a state where there's no gold.
Right. It's unbelievable.
So,
No gold in Ohio.
that's where the gold's at, the community, boys. That yellow stuff's the extra.
well, I brought that up in my last video, Dano.
I seen it and I appreciated you saying that.
Yeah, hey, and about time, dude. It's been, what, 2 years or something like that since you put a video out, and
Ain't that something?
yeah, you didn't
Well,
use your
If
Filmora, though.
Show on this phone, I put it up there. I still can't figure. I got to come to see Ed and have a Filmora school class.
Okay, well,
check
you
it
know
out.
where I live, dude.
I'm getting recommendations for your old videos too. They're
Bob
popping up.
Dips in the house.
Well, trust me, I'm not monetized and I don't make any money. If you watch my video, you're just watching it because you want to watch it.
Michael,
Hey, Bob Dip.
M&M Prospecting, you'll have a couple things coming to you tomorrow, probably. So,
I don't see the other Ed in here yet.
no, HD Shovel Ed? Excuse me. Oh. Ain't that a nice shirt, Ambient Girl? I like it too. And I might have to do it because this cigar's so good.
Hey, you bastard.
Well, listen here, see.
I mean, you did tell her, you did mention the 3 rule.
The 3 rule. Hey, I'm sorry, guys, but if I get 3 Havanas in my mailbox, I'd be very tempted to not say a word.
Don't you tell us.
So you wouldn't hurt my feelings. So you're good with that one.
No, okay, then I'd have 2 and Jesse'd have 1.
There you
That's
go.
something you have to take up with Liz, because from what I understand, though, I might be very well getting another one on their next trip. So.
Like I said, I hope you mentioned the 3 rule.
I do want to get a Jersey History Hunter shirt, though.
Was that like a hint?
Just throwing it out there, he says.
I wink wink.
Yeah, wink, wink.
Don't forget the 3 rule.
Then they might ask for 3 shirts back or something like
It's
that.
all right. You'll take care of it.
Hey,
Fire it
Dwight.
up.
Yeah,
He
it's
said-
nice.
Dwight Wooten says, "Fire it up."
Nice Havana cigar right there. Top quality. I see my brothers in the house.
Yeah, it looks like they're doing work on their property down at the waterfall.
Are you kidding, Bob Dip? I'm not gonna cut the stogie into 3 parts. Jeez.
Hey.
Louise.
Well, cut it in half anyways, because Dana doesn't want
This roll there's extra bigger.
one.
Make it a big old one.
Ray Moore, don't bogart that stogie. He is. That's okay.
Doggone thing won't light.
So tonight we have Redbeard Relic Hunter with us, huh?
Yeah, the world-renowned Redbeard.
World renowned. Huh.
Yeah, here I'll put up his channel if you're not yet a subscriber. There it is. Just throw in the search. Oh, here, better yet, I'll throw a link in the description. But if you're a detectorist, you know who this guy is. He's another crazy Canuck.
BJ the Crow just entered the room.
BJ, brother BJ. That's right.
How you doing?
LBPA for life.
How you doing, Redbeard? Now, what would you like to be called? Redbeard, hey, you.
Hey,
Call me whatever you want. I'm easy.
Anus Orpus.
Oh,
Right now, my buddy says the guy that looks homeless. That's what he says.
Oh, the homeless guy. And you're babysitting, right?
I've got my baby right here. He's still good though. He's he's just sitting there looking around. He's great. So
What's his name?
Rowan.
Rowan.
Yeah.
like Rowan and Martin laughing.
Well, yeah. I was really, when he said that, oh, too bad your name ain't Martin.
Well, you know what? Rowan Atkinson is the guy who plays Mr. Bean, right? So my wife kind of came up with the name, and I was like, yeah, okay, I like it. And then when after we actually like signed the certificate and everything, I was like, I can't believe we named him after Mr. Bean. She's like, excuse me. She didn't know that was his name. Mr. Bean. So she's pissed off at me.
Mr. Bean. He's gonna go, oh no.
How you doing, Jim?
Rowan and Martin laughing.
Yeah. Well, you know what? If I keep making the Mr. Bean joke, I'm not only going to look homeless, I'm going to be homeless because she's going to kick me out. So
Oh, we don't want that.
Oh, my goodness sakes alive.
So how long you been metal detecting?
you know what? I've been metal detecting for, probably 18 years now.
Yeah. Yeah, put him on. He wants on too.
Yeah, he's an intention hog. That's
So do you have a go?
Doesn't want to share the spotlight.
He wants it all.
Yeah.
Have you got a detector in his hands yet, though? Come on.
You know what? Here we go, right here. It's this is what my friend Gary Penta made me, and he makes these miniature detectors, like these miniature.
That's cool.
Oh yeah, the thing's amazing. So that stays right on my desk for when I'm editing and stuff.
How deep can you go with that?
I wish it actually worked. I think he actually made a working one at one point, but you know what? When he sent it, he's like, I'm going to send you this, and that. And it's like such a small list of people he's made it for. And I'm like, wow, thanks so much. And they showed up. I'm like, this is even better than what you see on like when he posted on Facebook. It's just the guy, it's amazing. Like it's real gifted. You know what I mean? I have a hard time tying my shoe, and this guy's making like tiny miniature models.
What's he making them out of?
1 second, please.
No, like it's super like strong and durable. I guess it's a metal mixed with some other stuff, but like the detail on the thing, I don't even know where my camera is. I think
Right
it's
there, you're good. Hold it still.
Thank you, BJ.
Wow.
Hold
and he
on.
got my like carbon fiber shaft and my big coil on it. And yeah, this guy's amazing.
That's really cool. That's
Yeah.
BJ the Crow, thank you so much for the super
all right,
chat.
BJ.
Placer Chaser, good to see you, brother. Hope to see
Placer
you
Chaser.
at Gold Rush Days. Labor Day weekend, we'll be
Oh, I think he'll
there.
be there. He's kind of living there at the swank almost.
Oh, yeah. He lives close enough.
Right.
We need to take him to the scenic view.
Mm. That's
Yeah, he'd
OSPA.
like it over there.
Yeah.
That's OSPA.
That's a
Yeah,
quiet little
so
spot. That's all right,
we're
he's a guest.
OSBA.
That's true.
He's a guest.
All right, sorry.
Yeah, we get sidetracked. We got
No,
He'll be there all weekend.
Yeah.
Placer Chaser.
No,
We
I have
got-
mad ADHD, so like I'll see something shiny, you guys won't see me for 20 minutes.
Squirrel.
Squirrel. Yeah, fuzzy squirrel.
Well, I hope you do make it B3.
Yeah, hell yeah. More the merrier.
So where? Oh, never mind. You're in Canada. You're in Ontario though, right?
Yeah, I'm in Ontario. I'm not far from Toronto.
So you're pretty close to Liz then, right?
Yeah, you know what? Liz and I, we go to the same events. So like her and I, we got invited as like the special guest to this event in St. Thomas last year together, and yeah, I get to see her at all the events. So it's you know, she's one of my favorite people. She's the nicest, coolest person in the world. So I always love seeing her.
Yeah, I'd love to meet her. Outdoorsy gal.
Oh yeah.
And Johnny,
O.
Liz, yeah, O, can't forget the O.
Have the O.
I'm surprised it is an outdoorsy girl, eh?
You know what? I tell you what, she's an undiscovered gem on YouTube. She's a really, really good friend of mine and the most amazing person you'll ever meet. Not only does she know an incredible amount about the actual outdoors, so she's actually earned that name.
Right.
What an amazing, her and Johnny, just two amazing people. I love hanging out with them.
She's quite the fisherman person.
Oh yeah, yeah. They're no joke. they know their stuff.
I'd also like to meet J3B, who I believe him and Chrissy live in the same town.
Right.
Yeah, they both live like kind of like in a Relic area and stuff. So they're part of the same metal detecting club out there.
Everybody's watching the baby.
I know. This is the first and probably the only live stream he'll be on for ages. So
yeah, we love Chrissy too.
Yeah, she is awesome, Susan. Oh man.
Hey Jim, how's it going? Jimmy from Video College shows in the house.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody loves Chrissy. She goes on his show too. You kind of see her all over the place.
Michael Busy Bee Detecting says, DJ, I've known Gary for a couple years and I don't even have a mini detector yet. I sense a tinge of jealousy, brother.
Oh, is that why the letters were green?
You know what? He probably felt bad for me because I'm a little funny looking. He's like, I'm going to give the homeless guy a detector. That's what I'm going to do.
There you go.
Hi, Deej. How you doing? Welcome.
Hey, Deej.
Our friend digging with Deej.
She says hi.
I just got to meet her at the last event. She came down to the Toronto event. That was really cool meeting her in person.
Yeah, wasn't Metal Pirate Girl there too? And
yeah, both of them. So yeah, that was awesome getting to see them in person.
I'm doing really good, Deej. Thank you. Yeah, there's so many in the community. It's crazy that from somehow we need to get to Australia because there's a lot of people there I'd like to meet too.
Hey, Bedrock Bennett, what's up, buddy?
All right, Bedrock.
Hey, what's up, Bennett?
Some of our California homies are starting to pile in. Actually, don't tell nobody.
Oh yeah, today's somebody's birthday, isn't it?
Yes.
See if he shows up. He's supposed to show up.
Yeah, I already spilt the beans in our in that text message group we have that's
Yeah.
like 15 of us. But
Hey,
geez,
what's up, Oz? This is Oz from
Ozart,
Art.
Yeah, we finally
and
got Patrick
if
in it.
if Professor Nez is still in the house, thanks for joining us as always, my SoCal brother. And my actual brother, James, is in the house also. Jim, Eric.
Mr. Villa is in the house.
We'll have to get to their house when we're
Yeah.
out there, because from what I understand, they'll be like wash plant. They want us to do some prospecting for them. I think, Dano. You found that speck in their creek and started a mine.
You know,
But they have a hard rock mine on the property that's following quartz veins, and they also have a drift mine on the property. So, there's some ancient gravel somewhere there. And I guess Jim said something about they're getting a deep penetrating like radar detector thing where they could
I know,
actually
TJ was talking about that in his last live stream.
find caves and stuff and all kinds of stuff like that.
that'd be interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
GPR, ground penetrating radar. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, Redbeard.
I could have used that this weekend.
Oh,
I could. I went out to look for that buried money I was telling you about. That guy said he had in his yard. My detector don't go as deep as he speculates it is.
so is it a mason jar of gold eagles?
No, it's a 8-inch PVC, 2 foot long, full of Morgan's, his mom's diamond ring, his mother-in-law's diamond ring, and some other jewelry.
Oh,
Here's the thing that gets me. This is the second story I've heard about that.
He just fessed it up to me. He told me the people lived there before did it till I got there. He's like, well, I just like to discuss with you what I got here. And I was like, well, I don't do that. Find that. I said, rent a track hoe. I'll come over and dig it up for you. How's that?
How do you bury something in your backyard and not remember where you did it? Or
he knows where it's at. It's just too deep.
At least do a map.
Yeah, it's just too deep. He took an augered a hole, dropped it in, and buried it. I said, well, if you augered it, it's at least 4 foot deep. It means it's at least 2 foot in the ground, if not more. You've mulched around that rock for years. So, you're talking probably 2 foot, 3 foot of dirt over top of the capsule. I told him,
Did he bury the capsule's upright or sideways?
Standing up right down the post hole. He said he dropped it right
Yeah,
straight.
so then the stuff's going to be at the bottom, so it's more likely 5 feet down or say.
Well, I said, if you augered a 4 foot hole and it's 2 foot tall, he said.
Oh yeah, so
it's 2 foot under.
Yeah.
My detector ain't gonna get through there through all the years of mulch and stuff that's built up and turned to dirt. There's probably over 2 foot.
Yeah. So he didn't have a marker system? Like he didn't have a tree or anything as a marker?
It was under a boulder. He don't want to dig that deep by hand. He thought I could detect it up and locate it to dig right where it was at.
Well, if it's that valuable, I'd be digging it.
The backhoe.
We have a question.
Gentleman, so he couldn't really dig it by himself. So I said, rent a mini track hoe and I'll come out and dig it for you. Because he's a doctor. He's a doctor. He's got money. I mean,
I tell you what, though, if you get a post hole digger, just even a hand post hole digger, I'd dig a 4 foot hole with a hand post digger in an hour and a half.
Right. I told him, I said, just get a track hoe. I'll come dig it for you. He will too. I know he'll end up getting one.
Yeah, that's 2 minutes. Nice and easy
Right.
that way.
Two
Take
scoops, I
longer
got
to
it.
get it than to use it.
2 scoops, I got it.
Yeah.
We have
I'd
a
have to be
que-
careful. I don't want to break it. You know what I mean? I'd dig beside and then go over into it or something.
Yeah.
we have a question in the room for DJ from Deej. Are you going to pound the ground?
You know what? Mark Hoover actually just called me last night asking me that. Right now as it stands, I don't think so, but I'm not sure because from what I've heard, someone's being sent there from Mine Lab, but I don't know the details and I don't know if it's me. So right now they told me just I'm focusing on being in England. But I tell you what, I spoke to Nathan, who's like running that event, and he wanted me to go. If I can make it, I will love to go. But right now I don't know. You know as much as I do.
And there you have it.
Did you fall off your chair, Ed?
Well, this chair's a great chair, but sometimes if I lean too much one way or another, my little settings on the side, they pop, and
You feel like you're
then
falling over.
I miss the one I wanted and hit the other one that makes me go whoop. So I had to lift up my seat again. So.
Yeah. There's too many levers on these chairs. I got the same one. But they sure are comfortable though.
Oh man, this chair, I love
Hey,
it,
Wolfie.
Dano. Thank you, brother. Yeah, In the Woods with Wolfies in the House, or another Canadian friend of ours.
Yeah. How's them little puppies doing, Wolfie? How big they getting?
Growing.
So, what do you got on your bucket list, DJ?
Geez.
Or do you even have one?
What don't I have on my bucket list?
Well,
No,
I
you
don't
know
know.
what? I don't make bucket lists, to be honest with you. I think my next favorite treasure is whatever I find next. I've never been one to make a bucket list, really. I have things I would like to find, but I wouldn't call it a bucket list. I mean, gold coin is always on there. Pirate treasure's number one. Viking stuff. But yeah, you know what? I've never been one to make a bucket list.
I always have a hard time with bucket lists.
Yeah,
I don't have a bucket list.
I just thought I want to do something. I try to do it.
I want to
Right.
find a nugget as big as the one I did when my babies were babies, and I had to sell it because they were babies.
They were babies, and they needed for me more than you needed a gold nugget.
Plus, we needed gas to get home. Well, we were in Northern California. We were living in Washington. But hey, it was.
You know what I think of bucket lists? I feel like bucket lists are like resolutions. They can be, and I don't, and this is nothing against people who make bucket lists. I think it's amazing if you do, but it's just never been my thing because I don't make New Year's resolutions either because I never aim to not do something. So if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. And if I say I'm going to find something, eventually I'm going to find it, but I'm not going to put it on a list just in case.
Well, yeah. See, that's my thing too. It's like if I put something in a bucket list, now that means I have to go do it.
Yeah.
I have to go do it. It's in my bucket list. That means I have to go do it. And
yeah.
At my age, I really don't like to have to go do things.
You know what? I feel like bucket lists for me, if I were to make one, it would make it feel too much like a job, maybe.
That's what I'm saying. You know, now I have to do it because I said I was.
Yeah.
It's there. Now I got to do it.
Yeah.
Whether I can afford to do it or not, you know. So, yeah. So, are you sponsored by someone? Do you have a sponsor?
Yeah, I'm actually sponsored by Mine Lab. So I'm one of 16 people in the world that were chosen to be a detectorist.
Matthew, Maddie, you.
Yep. Yeah,
there's 3.
2 Canadians sponsored for metal detecting in the world, and I'm lucky enough to be one of them.
Oh, cool. Sweet.
Cool.
Who's the other?
Steve Zazulik, who's an amazing dive Detectorist. He's arguably one of the best diving guys in the world, and he's a good friend of mine. And I can't think of anyone more deserving to have that sponsorship than him. And
Cool.
to even be put in a class with him is mind blowing. But there's so many great Canadians out there and so many great detectorists. So like people always message me and say, "Hey, how can I get sponsored?" I never even pursued it. Mind Labs contacted me, and I was as shocked as anyone. I don't think I'm special. I don't think I'm better than anyone else. But I'm always honored to fill the shoes of the detector position. So
You just answered that letter before anybody else.
Right. Well, it'd be nice. Maybe one day we'll get, since kind of Garrett dabbles in two things, prospecting and detectors. Never know. Hey, Garrett.
Hey, you never know.
Or
Yeah,
Mind Lab. Mind Lab sells gold pens. Hey, Mind Lab.
Hey, Mind Lab. There you go.
Become part of the hand. That'd be a Knox 800.
So, speaking of being
Hey,
approached,
Square Nail Bob's in the house.
all right, Square
Where's
Nail.
SpongeBob Square Nail?
Oh,
Nice.
sorry. SpongeBob Square Nail. Hey, Down East Detecting and Prospecting. How you doing, brother?
What's up, Bob?
Ah.
He's our cellar hole digger. Loves those cellar holes.
Well, hey,
Ah,
they can be
hey,
good, right?
Wayne Nugget Brain Peterson. He says, I'm already on the list for Garrett. Sorry, Ed. There's room on that list.
That's right. Now, DJ, I saw a thing where I think it was on Facebook, though. I might have watched the video too, about identifying trees that will be indicators for treasure.
Yeah.
What?
So that's one thing they did back in no one trusted the banks back in the 1800s, early 1900s, right? So
Right.
Well, I
there's
can't say I
different
blame them.
ways that they used to bury treasure and mark treasure. So there was either the markings on trees, which can be natural or it can be man-made. So what they used to do on occasion is nail in a metal spike into the tree that would create this big burl in the tree that would be a marker, so they would know what tree they buried their cash under. Or they used to sometimes back in the day use the biggest tree closest to their house, that if the house burnt down, they could still recover their money. So that's two things you always want to look at when you go to an old house. If you ever find a tree with that marking, then check the tree, because there is a natural way that it happens too. So it's a natural defect, but it's also a man-made defect. So it's either, if you want to find out if someone's intentionally done it, you run your metal detector over the tree. If the metal detector goes off, check under that tree, because there's a good chance someone's buried something under it.
So you're saying that if you drive a spike into a tree, it's going to form a knot there, a burl?
Yeah, over years, it actually, forms a burl. And the natural ones are desired by carpenters and everything.
Oh, yeah, they're beautiful.
Make tables.
There is man-made ones, and I just happened to come across it in that video. I went, oh, hey, this is something I've never talked about, but I know that it's true. And it just so happens I looked at the side like, oh, yeah, there's metal in that one. Okay. So,
I mean, is that something you can always see, or do you need to run your metal detector across it?
No, you can't always see it. I actually, back probably 11 years ago, before I ever did YouTube or anything else, I found an old tree in the woods with that. And this is something that I was told ages and ages ago when I first started metal detecting by a guy that was a super old person, but just like a wealth of knowledge. You have to take in that knowledge from people.
Right.
I think at the time, he was probably 90 years old, maybe. And so he was alive back in the day when they didn't trust banks and everything else. I mean, this is over 100 years. Like, this guy was around 100 years ago at the time. And so he said to me, yeah, if you're ever out and this and that, this is how you find treasure. This is how my daddy used to mark treasure or whatever. And I was like, wow. And And it just so happened that years after, I came across a tree with one in the woods, and I just out of he popped into my head when it happened.
Right.
You don't come across them all the time down here, and I ran my metal detector over it. My metal detector started going off, so I started metal detecting around the area, and I got a faint signal right under a root. So I'm trying to get underneath the root without damaging the tree. And sure enough, I found a bag of old large cents and stuff.
Oh, cool.
And there was probably, I think there was maybe 16 large cents, and there was a couple of other coins in it. I was like, I was blown away. And of course, it would have been an incredible YouTube video, but I didn't do YouTube way back then. But yeah, it was arguably my first find where my jaw just dropped, and I had to just sit there and stare at it like, did this actually just happen to me?
Just got confirmation. You got confirmation of something that you had heard and realized, wow, that's true. So now let me ask you this. If that was true back then, do you think they probably did the same thing during the Depression when people didn't trust banks then either?
Yep.
Probably.
I would be willing to bet. I mean, there's always old money hidden somewhere.
Right.
Whether it's at the biggest tree that was near the, whether it's there or it's at one of these trees somewhere in the woods, which on an episode Dan and I did, who's my detecting partner, we were hunting for this lost legend of this gold that one of the first settlers in our area buried. And the legend is, and it's told by his, grandkids and everything else, that a couple of days before he died, he went out and buried all of his gold and everything else. He was really wealthy, and but he was really sick. So Dan and I think we found the creek that he's buried at. We did an episode on it because it's a terrifying place. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, that's not my issue, but it's one of those places where we both had something happen to us that scared the bejesus out of us. So, but now that I was thinking about it, I never saw a tree like that down there, but I'm definitely going to go back there and check to see if there's any trees like that, because I didn't even think to look for trees like that in the area.
Right. That's something that you wouldn't think of, because I mean, it doesn't, it's not something that would pop in your head unless someone put it there in the first place.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm so terrified of the area because of what happened to me in the past. I'm just like, I don't even think proper when I'm down there, because I'm all like on edge, like, is there something gonna bump me on the head here or something? Plus, there's a bunch of down there, so that's a little weird too.
Well, sometimes we think about ghosts so much that we actually create them and scare ourselves.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Not that I don't believe in them, but I also believe that we do it to ourselves more times than not.
Yeah, you know what? I'm a science guy, so I try to look for any scientific explanation, because 9 times out of 10, there's a scientific explanation of what's happening. You know,
your head.
Yeah, it's in your head, or it's something. It's a draft somewhere else, or there's very minimal times where I've ever been like, oh, that's not explainable.
But at the same time, there are things that are unexplainable, and you have to go, there's something else at work here, something that I'm not understanding. That's all. But
you know what? I'm
open to everything.
Yeah, it's not that I don't believe in, paranormal or anything. I have a healthy respect for what happens after you die. I don't know what it is. But what happened to me down there, and then something happened to my dating partner too. And so I was telling him this story about what happened to me at a certain spot. And he's like, oh, that's weird. This happened to me at a spot too. And then we realized like a year later, after telling each other, I go, oh man, yeah, we were digging at a permission I have that's like 5 minutes from the spot. And I go, oh, that spot that I told you that thing happened down there. He's like, wait a minute, along that creek? And I go, yeah. He goes, that's where it happened to me. I'm like, come on, you're kidding. I thought he was joking with me. 100%. He's like, that's where it happened to me too. I'm like, okay, this is not right then. There's something different here.
So you haven't gone back to check it out, or?
We went back once for a Halloween episode, and I tell you what, we were both, he wasn't as on edge as I was, but I get something down there. I just get a bad feeling down there ever since that happened to me. So yeah, it was something that, and like I said, I'm, I don't like to, say I believe in ghosts and this and that. Like I'm not, but it's something that I couldn't explain, and that's what scares me.
Well, that's kind of like me with Ed's dowsing rods or his pendulum. I won't touch them.
I haven't been using them as much, if you haven't noticed.
Yeah, you've gotten modern and went with your metal detector.
Well, I have a Fisher Goldbug Pro. It's a good medium level gold detector.
See, now that I understand. I don't have a problem with it. It's the pendulum and the dowsing rods that I don't know what's causing it, so I'll leave it.
He's throwing holy water on it.
Hey, dude, I don't even mess with that.
He's afraid I'd go poof.
It burns.
Ah!
So you were kind of talking a little bit about a new adventure you might be taking here pretty soon, hopefully.
Yeah.
I know you can't say a lot about it at this point.
Yeah, I'm in the works potentially of doing a few different shows. One's kind of scheduled. It's just a matter of when we're going to shoot it. As far as I know, it's only going to be one episode, treasure hunting episode. It's on Science Channel. It's a show that's been around since I think 2015.
One of my favorite shows.
Yeah, it's a cool show, and I think it's going to be neat to, do the treasure hunting episode on that. And the same company that contacted me for that contacted me for something else, and I thought they wanted me to host a show that they already had in the works or whatever. And so I did a Skype interview with the casting director, and then she's like, "Can I record this?" And I said, "Yeah, sure." And then she recorded our interview and then patched it together into like a 2-minute segment thing, and she brought it into a major network, and I guess they said, "Yeah, hey, we love him. We want him to the host his own thing or whatever." And they had a few stipulations of what they were kind of looking for, and so I had a meeting with them this morning, the VP of casting, and then the casting producer that I met with previously, and so they told me what they'd like to see, and they're in development stages, I guess, of this show that's for the major network, and they want to put together something. Whether to be picked up or not, I'm not 1,000,000% sure, but it's.
Hey, it's something, right? It's
Well,
another adventure.
That's right. Good luck and break a leg. Hey.
Right. Is this going to be something that you're going to do by yourself, or you be part of a team? Do you know?
You know what? They wanted me to do it by myself. My detecting partner is not interested in anything TV related or anything really, and he doesn't really have the availability, I don't think, to do stuff like that. But today they said, I guess they saw like one of my adventures with my kids, because sometimes my kids tag along with me, and they said, let's get your kids. We're gonna have to set up another Skype meeting soon, and let's get your kids on the Skype meeting to, maybe consider getting them in on the show too or whatever. And I was like, yeah, okay. Like, they'd love to be on TV, whatever.
Well, they probably just wanted to check out their personalities.
Yeah, you know what?
Looking for.
Yeah, you know what? My son is really quiet compared to me, and my daughter is a complete blabbermouth like me. So it's like a contrast of them all, like my daughter's like me and doesn't stop talking ever, and then my son's like, they're both super smart. They're both way smarter than me. So that's what I'm a little worried about. They're both going to be on there, and the producers are going to be like, "Wow, they're really smart. You're out, Redbeard. We want them."
Yeah, we're going to take your kids.
B3 Busy Bee said, "Make sure you post it, DJ." Okay, Diana, thank you very much for joining us, sis.
Sister leaving.
Diana.
Your sister's leaving.
My sister. Good night, sister.
Good night, my
She
sister of
lives-
another
She
mother.
lives in Texas. She was just up last week, the week before.
I bet
For
you she
our
cooked
family
some.
reunion.
I bet you she cooked some killer Tex-Mex, huh?
Oh yeah, not as good as her mom, but you know.
Wow.
Are you only saying that because she left? Is that what now you can say she left so you won't get punched?
Was that?
Now you could say that
Oh,
because
no.
she left so you won't get punched?
No, I say that because I'm the oldest brother.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And mama's cooking's always better.
Now she has question marks about ghosts. See that? She's questioning ghosts.
Ghosts. What about ghosts? We like ghosts. She's into ghosts and that kind of stuff. She's
You know, I'm
She's
like
into that.
Shaggy from Scooby Doo, man. If anyone talks about ghosts, I'm like, zoinks, I'm out of here.
I'm hungry, Scooby.
Yikes.
Run.
Well, you should see her cars. She's got some nice cars.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, she shows cars. She's in the Dodges.
Oh, you know what? My neighbor has a 69 Challenger, and every time I walk out of the house, I drool at the thing. And it's just rotting away. And I'm like, come on, do something with the thing.
What? It's not restored or nothing? Just sitting there?
Just sitting there. It's an RT. It's got the racing slicks, and it's just been sitting in the same spot since I've lived here for like 7 years, and he won't sell it. It's a tragedy, you know. I'm just like, come on, just sell it. My neighbor's one of my best friends, and he's like, if he ever puts that up for sale, I'm buying it.
Even if you don't restore it and rebuild it, at least get it on the road and run it.
Mm-hmm.
At least. Even if it's ratty.
Yeah, it's a slap in the face.
On the road, keep it running.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh well.
Yeah. What can I do? I can't afford that.
Yeah, I hear you. I wanted to do a Mustang, but and I had it, but I just couldn't afford to do it.
Oh yeah, it's crazy expensive. You know, I've always wanted to do it, but it's expensive.
Very expensive, which is why those cars, when they're rebuilt and made pretty like that, they bring in hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Oh yeah, if you watch the Barrett Jackson auctions, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, even like old Volkswagen buses, I saw a 21 window Volkswagen bus, a lot like it looked just like my Combi, but I didn't have a 21 window. Went for over $100,000.
Oh yeah, easy.
And I had 3 nice buses back home in Washington. Oh, if only I knew.
So, if you do this show, the thing that always gets me about these shows is I know that they're so edited and so dramified. You're not gonna like it.
I mean, you know what? I already told my wife. I've been contacted by 3 different production companies, and I just about shows that were already being made. The first one I turned down because it just wasn't for me. The second one was like, the producer was like, yeah, I want you to pitch a show with me, this and that. And then this company happened to contact me a week after, and I really, really liked them because, they came at me first with the one established show, and they were like, we want you on this episode, and then we're going to talk about a show for you or whatever. And I was like, okay, like, that's great. I love that. And then, they're just really good, fair people. And then, that when they contacted me today, they said they already met with travel I guess so back. They already met with that station, with that network earlier in like a couple of weeks ago, I guess, and sold me to them and said, they said, we love them, this and that. And then they have some demands though, right? Because they want to put their stuff in a certain direction. So, there's so many different treasure hunting shows that are being pitched to networks right now because of like Oak Island and stuff, and the the gold curse thing or whatever. And, so they don't want just your standard, hey, I found this coin here. That doesn't do it. They want to tell the stories of certain things and everything. So what they told me, I love the idea of, and then I came back at them with a bit of a different idea, and they said, you know what, that's even better, and we think they might like that more. And I was like, okay, well, let's see if we can work something. But if it comes down to me not being able to be me and, be who I am, I'm going to slap it down as quick as it comes, because I'm not going to be the guy that can't be myself and has to be someone different. If you ever watch my YouTube, I'm just me. I'm joking with the people. Every person that watches my video could feel like they're my best friend and they're on the hunt with me, because that's my goal, right? I want to make people laugh. I want to make people have fun. I don't want to be the guy that just points his camera into a hole and goes, look at this coin. That's this coin. Blah, blah. You know what I mean? That's not me, right? I have a personality. Whether people like it or hate it, that's up to them. But yeah, the second they come back and say, oh, well, you got to do this, or, oh, we want you to bury this and then dig it up. No, that's not happening. That's not me.
Wayne Peter.
That stuff, no matter what, will show through at some point. It will come through that, oh, this is all fake, you can tell.
Yeah, you know what? The difference between me and so many different people is I don't need a show. I don't care if I'm famous. I didn't contact them. They contacted me. I don't have you know what I mean? I have a good life. I don't need to be on TV or anything. Not that I'm not grateful for the chances and stuff. I love the opportunity, but I'm not going to compromise who I am to do it. You know what I mean? And I was very clear about that. I don't ever want to have my integrity brought into question if it's going to be involved.
Right. And that does happen. That does happen to some of these guys,
Yep.
They allow themselves, I guess the idea of Hollywood gets in their minds and they start playing the game where they take their integrity and throw it off to the side and they go with the scene. Which sucks. Like I said, at some point people are gonna go, oh, this is crap, this is bull crap.
Yeah. You know what? The money's not that important to me. You know what I mean? The money and fame is not important to me.
My understanding is your first shows, you don't get paid. That's what I hear. I don't know.
Yeah, you know what? I've heard that. I've until the contract's signed, I don't know, but I've been told that there's going to be some okay things with it for me personally. But yeah, I mean, a lot of shows probably your accommodations are what's
there has to be something, or like
something.
Casey and Steve, and how many people have we had on now? They wouldn't go through it if it was all out on them,
Well,
just to be on TV?
We know that the first season of Gold Rush, those guys didn't get paid.
So they say.
Well, that's what they said.
They say a lot of things, They
say what the networks want them to say.
That's true. That's why I always ask what can you say, what can't you say? And
yeah, you know what? They haven't told me not to say anything, but
you're not under contract either.
I'm not under contract yet either. For the one show, they've it's I am getting compensation and I'm being flown to wherever they're gonna do it and put up in accommodations and all this and that, and so that's exciting. But it's just, as far as I know, it's probably going to be a 1-episode thing for that show.
You never know.
Yeah, you never know. That's already an established show, and I think once a year they try to do like a treasure hunting episode on it or something. It's a cool show. I've seen it before.
Okay, we have a person with experience in the room who was on a no drama show at all. Nugget Wayne Peterson said first year no pay. If picked up for another year paid. And Digging with Deej, thank you so very much
All right,
for the
Deej.
$5 super chat.
That's
Great
right,
live
Daisy.
stream,
All your
Ed.
sold at the company store.
Maybe someday we can collab. Most definitely. Have your people contact my people, and we'll work on it. In other words, get a hold of me. We'll talk, sister. Uh, Keep up the great content. Thank you very, very much, Deej.
She's an awesome person, eh? When I got to meet her in like at the event, I was like, wow, she's one of those people that you watch her online and you're like, oh, you love her. You know what I mean? She's just so she's so genuine. And then you meet her in person, and I've been disappointed by people that I've seen on YouTube, and I'm like, oh, they're kind of a jerk in real life or whatever. It's one of those people that is, as golden as you could imagine. She's just such a sweet, down-to-earth person. And she's like, come in here, I want to take a picture. I'm like, yes, please. She's just so nice. Her and Metal Pirate Girl. And my problem is when I go to an event, because I talk to so many people online and I get messages from people online and stuff. And I try to watch everyone's YouTube, right? Just because I try to support everyone that's in it. Because I know, YouTube can be hard and this and that. And sometimes they're standing in a line. I think when I first saw them, they were standing in a line or something. And I was trying to do this raffle thing for the event and help this fellow Bruce Campbell out raise money for, a charity that was the event kind of some money went to. And then I saw Liz digging Canuck, and I'm like, hey, how are you? And then all of a sudden I saw them. I'm like, oh my God. And Metal Pirate Girl, I didn't recognize her at first because I wasn't thinking, because I'm like, I didn't think she would be there, right? Because it's a pretty good drive for her.
She's in Buffalo, isn't she?
Yeah, she's in Buffalo or something. So I wasn't expecting to see her for some reason. You know what I mean? She's never been at one of the ones before. And then I'm like, wait a minute. And and Liz is like, it's Metal Pirate Girl. I'm like, oh my God. I'm so worried. Because when I see people online, for some reason in person, it doesn't click. I'm like, they have to go, I'm this person. I'm like, oh, geez, I'm sorry. I don't know what the hell's wrong with me. It's I'm one of those guys that wouldn't even recognize his own kids if I go somewhere. They're like, hey, Dad. I'm like, hey. It's it's bad.
Dude, I can meet you 1 minute, 5 minutes later, I come back. Haven't I met you before?
Oh, yeah. And I'm bad with names, too. I'm terrible with names.
I have to ask you about 3 times.
And be like, hey, I'm Jack guy here. And I'm like, hey, and then I forget their name, and I just go, hey, you, how you doing? I don't know anyone's name. I don't even know my name half the
time. I try to ask. I ask because I'm that dumb that I have to ask you a few times. So I have to ask you. Otherwise, I go, hey, you.
You know what it is for me? And people don't know this, and I don't even know if I've ever told anyone this, other than my personal intimate people that I know, is when I was 10, I actually had brain damage, believe it or not. I got hit in the face with a golf club, and it completely messed up my temporal lobe. So when someone introduces themselves or when I see them in person, that's part of the reason I don't know who the heck they are. It's it's actually a partial form of brain damage.
I'm going to write that one down. I had brain damage when I was young. Okay, cool.
Yeah. and everyone that knows me now is going, that explains a lot. That's
now we know.
HD Shellheads in the house.
Oh, he's been. Where you been?
Hey, Ed, the other Ed. You should get your package. Yeah, the other Ed. You should get your package tomorrow.
Yeah. Ed. Does that have I should?
No, the other Ed.
Oh, that package. Oh, yeah. Right on. So he did get a hold of you.
Yes, he did.
Excellent.
We did the dirty deal.
If you need any dream mat, contact us. We'll hook you up.
No, I don't. Not too much longer though. I'm almost out.
Okay, hurry up while surprise.
While supplies last.
Yes, thank you. I was tongue-tied for a second.
I think that was my last dredge map too. I'm gonna have to get some from Big Boss Man before he leaves for Australia.
I'm glad I got mine from the boss man himself. So, but it's already my 2-inch needs a test run. So.
I'm to put my mini max.
I think we should go to No Tell 'em Creek number trace with Chris. You guys need to get there, I'm telling you.
Oh, I want to go.
I want to go. Thanks, Plasser.
Chris even knows it. I've been telling him too. As soon as I get a weekend freed up, I am there.
What'd I miss?
Here's Liz. Hey, Liz.
Hi, Liz.
Hi, Liz.
Flash fam, you got that? What was a hashtagging in her chat the other morning? Yeah, Connect Nation, I think it was. And then we have call in crew. Hashtag call in crew. That reminds me, I'm going to do a little quick commercial break if you don't mind, DJ. Everybody at 10 o'clock, I know this awesome show, video call-in show, brought to you by our friend Jim at the Video Call-in Show channel. Shows.
I can tell you one good reason for going and checking out this channel.
What's that?
About. If you're doing YouTube videos and
you're
not getting the traffic that you'd like to get, go over to this guy's live shows every night at 10 o'clock.
Sunday through Thursday.
Questions.
Oh, yeah.
Glad to help you set up your YouTube page to help you get more traffic. He's really good at it.
He has decades of experience in graphic arts, and actually he was on the other end of the camera before for a long time as professional in the studio and stuff, and he started his channel because he wanted to be on the other side of the camera, and he does an absolutely fabulous job, and we got him addicted. We got him infected by gold fever. So now not only does he put on a great show, he's also part of the band of the hand.
Right. So, like I said, you want to learn how to get traffic moving to your YouTube page. Go to a video call-in show. Call in or ask a question in the chat room. And he'll be glad to help you.
Oh yeah, it's a great guy,
and just a lot of fun to hang out with.
And know what's great is the crowd, his community he's building up is almost as good as ours.
Almost, he's getting there.
Almost.
He's only been doing it for what, 4 months, 5 months?
Not too long, but he's getting up there. He's gonna be hitting the 1K mark here really soon, I bet. Gonna take off like a rocket.
A lot of cool people there, and he uses Zoom like we're using.
Yes. Actually, he's the reason why I switched to Zoom when Skype started being all whatever it's been. 8 months.
8 months. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
He don't mind self promotions or nothing, you know.
Yeah, you want to come on to his show and promote yours?
It's a show where you're the guest. Okay, commercial break over.
Okay. We'll send you the bill, Jim.
That's right.
That whole segment seemed like a road hockey thing in Canada. And you bring the nets back on the road.
That's our short infomercial.
Oh no, but seriously, JD or DJ, Jim's an awesome guy. I've been had the privilege of actually meeting with him twice now, and we met at a Indiana chapter of the GPAA meeting, and we turned him on to the lifestyle of prospecting and treasure hunting, and he actually invested into that new lifestyle that night. Send the invoice.
Yeah, that's Jim. That's a free rule.
Yeah.
But
Free.
so far he's been out with us twice now,
I
right,
don't know,
Dano?
DJ. What does DJ stand for?
I don't know.
You know what?
I know what DJ stands for.
It stands for Daryl Joseph, but I was named after a hockey player named Daryl Sittler, but my parents called me DJ ever since I was born. So it's just, yeah, when someone, you know what, on my ID it says Daryl, but if someone ever says, "Hey, Daryl," I don't even know who the heck they're talking about. And was that Deej that said that?
Yeah.
Because you know what's funny is my wife calls me Deej. So I think I told her that before. My closest friends, like when they talk to me or my family, it's Deej. I'm Deej,
right?
So yeah, when I first saw her, when I first found her on YouTube or she found me or whatever, I was like, "Hey, like I'm definitely subbing to you."
That's funny.
She's like the upgraded Deej. I'm the lower scale Deej. She's I'm like the Kmart Deej or whatever is like down here it used to be a thing called Byway. It was like kind of like the lower end sort. That's me. She's up here. I'm
Here would be she's Kroger's and you're Save-A-Lot.
There we go. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, did he finally show up?
Who was that?
Finally showed up.
Oh, he did.
Mm-hmm.
You know you're an hour and 10 minutes late, Ronald. Man, oh man, I tell you, some viewers, huh, Jesse?
No appreciation for what we do for him.
I hear you.
Says we come over, he's cooking out for us, guys.
I saw that.
There you go. We'll make a date, guys.
I told him I'm his because I'm the one that always cooks. This is good being cooked for. I'm liking this already.
Your average, what? Filipina?
Filipino?
Oh, like Filipino?
Yeah. No, it's a female.
Yeah.
Hi, average Filipina.
Yeah. I guess, would it be kind of a Latin thing there? So Filipino would be a guy and Filipina be a gal?
You're not asking me, right?
Well,
Yeah, I hope you're
yeah.
I'm not that educated. Ed.
He's Mexican.
I'm from Toledo, Ohio.
I know, but you know enough. You know enough to know what I mean.
It'd be a Filipinette if it come out of my mouth.
Do you guys see what I put up with? Yeah, I stole your line, Jesse.
You stole my line.
HD Shovelhead said yes, and
Yes.
he's Filipino.
Yes, he is. He would know better than me. What the hell was that?
Oh, I don't
Your
know.
bottle, weren't you? No.
My phone is vibrating.
The California guys, or
on my phone.
Oh, it's Redbeard.
It's probably mine. I get a lot of messages. I'm sorry.
Trying to talk to you while you're on the air. Watching you on the air.
Yeah.
Oh, that happens.
You know what? I get a lot of messages, and a lot of them I love seeing, and then I get a lot of people that are just like, "Hey, can you send me this? Can you send me that?" I'm like, "No, I can't send you that." Like, I have to put my phone on Do Not Disturb at a certain time at night, which I probably should have done now.
And my phone's in the other room, so.
Yeah.
Usually when Dano's getting messages, I hear ducks quacking.
Your
Wow.
ducks quacking. Yep.
And let me see, now the Cali guys won't be texting away for about when I'm about ready to go to bed. It's like, beep, 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 beep. My phone turns
we
into
have
a
group
pinball
conversation on the phone
machine.
going and late at night, guys out in California start texting each other.
Yeah, I might as well be like Tommy on a pinball machine, you know.
Oh, some nights they get going, boy. I wake up in the morning, there'll be 100 messages.
Oh,
Yeah, literally.
And because you're part of the group, even though the conversation has nothing to do with you, you go back and you read every one of those.
Oh yeah, like Barry did the other night.
Right.
Wonder where Birthday Boy is.
I don't know. I thought he was coming in here.
We understand, Ronald. We understand.
He's probably just lurking.
Just get well.
We're just messing
Come
with
on,
you, Ronald. We know.
it's 6:13 in the evening in California right now.
Right.
He knew we were gonna do this to him. I kind of let the beans out in the text. You all read it. Oh, jeez.
Coming on, so we'll have to razz him after the show.
He's hiding.
So, Redbeard, when did you very first get into treasure hunting?
you know what? I always had an obsession with treasure. Like when I was little, I was obsessed with pirates for some reason. I used to get these books and it would be pirate treasure and this and that. And I think the first time I ever got obsessed with metal detecting, though, I was really young, and I was, the idea of treasure was instilled in me right when I was young. And then I was at a park one time, and there was this guy with a metal detector, and it looked like a spaceship because I had no idea what it was back then. And I was like, what the heck is that thing? So I'm on him like a fly on poo, and I'm like, what is this guy doing? He's like, kid, back up a little here. And, so, he's digging, and I'm like, wow, look at that thing. Like, what is this? Amazing. He's like, oh, yeah, I'm looking for treasure. And I'm like, oh. And
treasure.
Magic word.
You know what? He goes to the bottom of a slide and he finds a diamond ring.
Ooh.
And he goes, look, hold out your hand. And I'm like, what? And he puts it in my hand. He goes, that's why I treasure hunt. And I'm like, thank you. He's like, no, you're not keeping it. Yeah, that right there that sealed the deal for me. And after that, I asked for a metal detector for my birthday and Christmas. And, back then they were really expensive, and my parents could never afford it. They did a great job, kept a roof over my head, but could never afford to get me a metal detector. And then when my son was a baby, no, it was earlier than when my son was a baby. It was before he was born. It was about a year and a half before he was born. I saved up enough money that I could get my first metal detector. It was an old bounty hunter, and that's when I started metal detecting. My first year, even though it was a bounty hunter, and nothing against anyone that uses a bounty hunter, it's just not as sophisticated as some of the other stuff out there right now. But you know what? I found my first year I was terrible at it. And I think you're terrible for the first 3 years. But the thing I loved about it was all I could do was get better. So I like starting something and not being good at it, because then it gives me all the reason to become my best. Right. I killed myself day in and day out learning it, figuring out everything I had to know about treasure hunting. And my first year, I think I finished with 30 silvers probably. Like, I don't really keep track, but I got a ton of silvers and this and that. And then met a couple of other guys that were already metal detecting, and they were like, you found what? And, they were like, wow, how did you find all that in your first year? I'm like, I do a lot of it. It was just, I did it all the time. So yeah, I was, I was hooked.
Yeah, that's what does it for you, is finding that first really cool piece of treasure. Pull tabs don't do it.
No. You know what it was for me? what it was for me was the fact that my next footstep could be a piece of gold, could be an old coin, could be to be honest with you, I prefer digging relics to coins. I'm one of those really weird people that's like a 1%er that I love pulling out an old relic that someone's used with their hands or whatever. Or, don't get me wrong, I love coins, but I'm a relic guy.
Well, with a coin, it's a coin. With something that you don't know what it is, now you have to quench your curiosity there by finding out what the heck is this piece of metal.
It's the mystery.
That's the treasure too. That's you learning history, learning what things are. I can pick up a lot of things and figure out what they were. But sometimes you get that one thing and you go, what the heck was this? What is it? And then when you find out what it was, you go, I would have never thought that. Right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah. You know what? I've been lucky enough to find some really cool coins. I think the only coin I would take over a relic was the coin I found that was like on the news and everything. I think that's the only thing that I would take over a relic, probably. Coin.
Would you consider that a relic?
No, not really.
No.
I don't know. I mean, it's like a one of a kind sort of token. But the reason that's my favorite is because I was able to donate it to the place that I found it, which is a diabetes center that's helped me over the years. So I donated my digging partner and I donated pretty much everything we found at that site to them, because when they finally get enough money to expand, they're going to put all of the artifacts and coins and stuff we found on display. So then, everyone that ever goes to that center in the future is going to be able to see what was dug from the ground there. And it was an incredible token, right? It was made by the finest jewelers in Canada in the 1800s. It was by Wellis and Company, which was two twin brothers. And, it was a 1.5 ounce pure silver with just incredible detail, agricultural one-of-a-kind token. And it was, holding that thing in your hand, it was so heavy. And I remember thinking like, oh my God, this thing's incredible. I'm freaking out. And it was just like, it's a one-of-a-kind feeling. You know what I mean?
Right. So
we had a question from Deej again.
Go ahead, Ed.
What's the weirdest thing you've ever dug?
Oh, geez. I've dug some pretty weird stuff. I dug a voodoo statue thing before that had metal like spikes in the side of its head. It was made out of wood, and I was like, oh my God, like this thing's terrifying. That was pretty weird. That was probably up there for me. So I was all worried I was gonna get cursed or something.
Did you put it back?
I reburied it because I was like, I don't want to get cursed or anything. So yeah, I reburied it exactly where I found it.
Well, because
I didn't know what it was or what it was for, or if it was like a tribute to someone or.
Right. It could be there to ward off evil spirits from that property, that land.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah. So I reburied it exactly where I found it and exactly how I found it, because I wasn't going to tempt fate and take it out of the ground or.
Even though you don't believe it.
I was like, that's good enough. I dug it. I'm putting you back. Sorry.
Even though you don't believe in that stuff, there's no sense tempting it, right?
Yeah. Why risk it?
Right.
That's probably the weirdest thing. I found some disgusting things too, but I won't get into that.
Tell us that. What did you find that was disgusting?
Like lady pleasure things. I won't go into.
On a metal?
Yeah. There was a metal one, and I was like, "Hey, what's this?" and I'm like swinging it around, and then my wife happened to be with me. She's like, "Oh my God, put that down!" And I'm like, "What?" She's like, "Ew, that's a like, oh God."
It's a cord.
Yeah, it had a cord and it was attached to a battery thing, and it was like this metal thing, and I'm like, oh my God, like I didn't know what it was. I was like, hey, look at this thing. This is cool. Like,
right. Maybe it was
That vibrates.
Yeah.
It was
Look at this
about
neck massager I found. Oh, works on the temples. Great.
What? Anything dangerous?
That's why you should wear gloves. Yeah, no doubt, Ambient.
That's the reason I wear gloves.
Hey, about the glass cuts or nothing.
No.
Wyoming Gold says, I found a below the belt ring once and a bra on the beach. Do you do much beach detecting?
No, not really. I try to stick to like 1800s permissions and stuff. I do sometimes, but I not a crazy amount of it.
So let me ask you about permissions.
Yeah.
I find it's hard to, and I know that really all you got to do is go up and ask. The worst that's going to happen is they're going to say no.
Yeah.
But there's got to be a way to get more yeses than what you just going up and asking.
So I tell you what my trick is. I do a lot of farm fields. A lot of the farm fields in my area used to have like 1800s homes on it that have been, they're gone now and they're hay fields or whatever. I'll give you a tip to never get turned down by a farmer. Yeah. Have a 6-pack of beer in your trunk. You ask them, you say, tell you what, if you give me permission for this spot, there's a 6-pack of beer in it for you. I have never been turned down on a farm permission. Never once in my life.
Does it have to be cold?
Nope, they don't care.
They don't care.
You know what? It's a code of respect with them, right? I know some farmers that over the years of my digging their permissions, and it's like it's almost like it's a handshake, sign of respect sort of thing. They don't write you a permission. They shake your hand, go, yep, you're welcome here, and just take care of my property, and we won't have a problem. And then I give them a 6-pack of beer, say thank you very much, and if I find anything that relates to your family, it's yours.
Now, what about legalities? Now, if a DNR agent or something, like where we live, we have to present written permission, or it's like criminal trespassing.
No, with me, I've never had an issue with regards to that. That being said, I have their contact for every farmer permission I have. So if I ever do I got stopped by the police on this one farmer's spot, and they came up to me and they said, "Oh, what are you doing out here?" And I said, "I'm digging holes, metal detecting, and I'm covering them back up and finding stuff." And they said, "Oh, well, does the farmer know you're doing this?" And I go, "Oh, absolutely. Like I have permission." I said his name. I said, "Yep, he lives right up there, next street around in that 1800s house." This and that. He said, "Okay, good enough. See ya." They were just making sure I wasn't burying a body, probably, but
probably.
But yeah, you know what? I have the contact information for people in my phone, so that if I do ever have an issue, I just call them up, say, "Hey, can you just confirm that this is your property or whatever?" And I've never had a problem with it ever.
Well, it's funny. I have a permission I've never got written either for, but over at Joe's, my own little private Idaho, and I worked this 1800s quarry in the middle of the creek where I dredge, bedrock, dredge, gold.
Yeah.
So I worked that quarry quite a bit, and never fails on a Saturday there's a sheriff. I can see him on the road. He's about 100 yards. And he sits there and looks, then he does his routine down the lane and back. Then he sits there and watches again. A couple of times I'm like, "Hey, come on down." And one time he backed up in a driveway that's like right there in this house that sits empty and watched me for a while I'm there doing my thing. I look up, "Come on down." Drives off.
Let me say hello to a couple of people here. Hi,
Sure
Colleen
thing.
and our buddy Outdoorsy gal O is in the house. She says,
Yeah, yeah. Hi, Chrissy.
Yeah. Yep.
How come all these people show up after we talked about them and said such great things, and now they completely missed it? So now you got to watch the rerun to see all the nice.
That's right.
Okay, so don't say it again. Make them watch the rerun.
So make sure, Chrissy, you go back, watch the whole show again, and leave a comment.
Absolutely. Oh man.
Well, I think we have them for a little bit more time, right, Redbeard?
Yeah, I've got. You know what? I've got probably another 10 minutes if that's okay.
Yeah, you mind if we squeeze in maybe someone calling in?
No, not a problem at all.
All right, there's some links down below and some one-click numbers for one-tap mobile numbers also below. If you do, though, make sure to turn the sound all the way down or mute on your YouTube and just listen to the Zoom or wear headphones. And I'll put a link in the chat box now.
Yeah, it was all bad. You're gonna be so red faced when you watch this video, Chris.
Oh, you know it was all terrible, terrible. Terrible. No, are you kidding me, Chrissy? You and Johnny, boom, up there, girl.
You're not one-hit wonders.
No, you sister of another mother, you.
Yep, she does. She has a fan club.
David Villa, you really want to know outside gal or girl? Blah, blah, blah. Deesh.
I tell you what, Rowan's been really good tonight. What the hell did you feed him?
Yeah, you know what? He's sleeping.
Bourbon?
He's like me. He eats a bunch of food and then he ends up napping for like 2 hours. Just I gave him a bottle right before we went on, and then he's like, "I'm out for like 2 hours."
So he'll wake up shortly after we're off and have a bomb in his drawers, and DJ's gonna be like, "Oh, when's mom gonna be home?"
You know what? I'm one of those dads that I changed a ton of diapers. I'm a hands-on dad. I tell you what, that's my favorite thing in the world is like.
I did it.
Couldn't do it. I tried. Couldn't do it.
You know what?
I literally had to go to my neighbor's house to have my son's diapers changed because I couldn't handle it.
There's some. It's like green. You're like, what
what color it was?
The hell that come from? Like,
you know what? The way I look at it is, eventually he's gonna end up changing my diapers, so I'll do his now, and then he'll do mine in the future.
Well, true.
Bob Dip says he's not sleeping; he's recharging his batteries. Yeah, I literally had to go to the neighbor ever and change my son's diapers.
Oh, really? No, it's never bothered me. I've always changed their diapers and stuff. My wife's great with it too, but yeah, it doesn't bother me at all.
David,
I have a weak stomach when it comes to
David Villa says, dip them in the toilet. We have Chrissy on the line.
Go, Bob. Square nails matter, he says.
Typical guys talking about poop.
Yeah, square nails matters. Thank you, Bob, for the $5 super chat.
They built this country.
That's right. Hi, Chrissy. How you doing?
I made it.
Chrissy. What's up, Chrissy?
You know what? After thinking about that, I should have had you nailed on Liz's show Sunday morning. You know, when you were all dressed Madonna style, you know. That 80s look, you know.
Yeah, that was my Madonna look, all right. I was just trying to add a little bit of chuckling to the show. That's all. How's DJ doing?
I'm doing good, buddy. How are you?
Right on. Can't hug through the phone, though, eh?
No,
Can't
I
hug-
know.
Like,
it's like an air hug.
yeah. Yeah. It's great seeing you, though.
Yeah, great to see you. We can't be strangers. We'll have to get together eventually.
Oh, you know we will. It's only
I
a
know.
matter of time.
I know. Well, you'll probably be at the event in September, I guess, right? Or
I can't make that one.
what?
Yeah, I know, and it sucks. It's because
You're going fishing.
we have a few things going on that day, actually. I don't know why that day is so popular, but yeah, we have a few things going on that I'm already obligated to do. Otherwise, I would have been there for sure.
Yeah. You know what? I'll be there as long as like I'm not because I'll be back from England by then. So I'll be there as long as I don't have something else on the go.
Congratulations on that.
I know. I'm excited. It's gonna be fun.
So what are you doing in England?
I'm going to Detective Al for Mind Lab.
Oh, so you won't be with anyone like Dawn or nothing, huh?
No,
Digger Dawn?
No, they're just sending me to the Detective Al thing. So I fly out on a night flight on the 11th, which terrifies me. And then I'll be there like 6 something in the morning their time for like it's a 7-hour flight for me. And then yeah, and then I'll be there till I think the 16th or something.
Only 7 hours?
Yeah, 7-hour flight. I think.
I went to Hawaii once and that was 9 hours. So
I
know that was a long time ago. But
California was 7 hours when I went to California.
oh my God. I've never been across the pond, so I don't know.
No. Yeah, I Googled it. I think it said 7 hours.
Oh.
That's awesome. I'm really happy for you because that is the event for all worldwide.
We got a couple questions here for you. A question and a comment. WY Gold, Wyoming Gold wants to know if you're going to use the new Vanquish.
Yeah, I mean, if they want to give me one to use.
And then the HD Shovelhead said, no reason to be scared. If it's dark, you can't see the crash coming. Hey?
Yeah, well, that's true. I'm hoping I sleep on the plane. That's what I'm hoping.
Yeah, do some help you go to sleep.
You know what my problem is? I'll get stuck next to a farter or something.
What's the wee bear in there doing?
He's sleeping, but he's just waking up right now. So
don't wake him up just because of me.
Oh, you did it now, Chrissy.
See, now he's just waking up.
Oh
my God, how cute he is. Oh,
I know he's getting big, eh? Remember we had the problem at the start with him gaining weight? That's not a problem anymore. Now I'm like, slow down, buddy.
No, for lost time he is.
If you want, yeah.
Oh, he's adorable.
Oh, Mama must be
now
home.
My daughter's home, so she's like, I can take him for a second. I'm like, okay, perfect.
Nice.
He might have made a poopy.
How many kids you got?
I have 3. I have a 16-year-old son, and then I have my 12-year-old daughter, and then him, who's 4 months. So we really spaced it out. We were like, let's go extreme here. That's
You know, DJ, I really enjoyed your video when you were going along the canal, I think it was.
Oh, yeah, the creek there. Yeah, that was pretty fun.
Oh, you had all kinds of really cool stuff there. All those insulators and stuff.
Yeah, you know what? I just happened to see that. I wasn't going to make a video that day, but you know, when I see a spot that I think might be good, I have to explore it. So I saw this rock structure at the side and I'm like, That's not like anything I've seen on this creek, right? So we usually stay at a different part of the creek, but we happen to just go up in this other section, and there's like dams in this creek, right? So different section in this part, and it's a creek in Peterborough. So I was like, okay, let's try that section today. And so we happened to go out there, and then I see all this rock structure from the side, and I'm like, wait a minute, like that looks like there could have been something there. I go, I'm gonna dock the canoe and I'm gonna go explore. And my wife, she's used to, you know, Nikki, right? She's used to it. She's like, oh, okay, I'll wait in the boat. And I'm just like, you know, I dock the canoe at the side. My son's sitting there putting crayfish on his nipples. And my daughter's sitting in the canoe, my son's sitting in the canoe, and I'm just like going through all this bush, and I don't have a shirt on. My wife's like, you're gonna traumatize people. Put a shirt on. My shirt I was sitting on, and it was all soaking wet and like disgusting with like, you know, sludge and stuff. I'm like, well, shirtless it is.
She wasn't worried about you falling or getting hurt or nothing. She was worried about you scaring people.
Yeah, she was worried about the viewers. She's like, oh, yeah, no, don't do that.
So what did you end up doing with that log thing?
You know what? I broke it down to about 6 feet so I could fit it in my vehicle. It's in my front garden sticking up.
Cool.
Yeah, because it was 16 feet.
Oh, it must be authentic then. It must be.
Yeah. And I tell you what, I'll send you a picture of it close up. It's all hand forged. It's amazing. I'll send you a close up picture. The thing's amazing.
Cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. Yeah, it's super cool. I was like, yeah, when I came across it, I'm like, hey, and I couldn't think of what it was at the time. For like, I knew what it was, but I couldn't think of the name or anything. And then someone's like, I post a picture of it on Facebook, and you know, people are good, right? So instantly someone's like, hey, that's a, and I was like, I knew what that was.
It'd make a really good display thing on your ceiling or something, or on the wall.
Yeah, you know what I'd like to do is I would like to get one of those big bat, like, you know, the ones like they have at Michael's or whatever, where you know, they have that like bat display thing or whatever, the shadow box things. I want to get one of those, I think, for it maybe.
That would be neat.
Yeah, because I'm scared someone's gonna steal it from my garden.
And they very well could, you know.
Yeah, like we have a great neighborhood, but I'm a little worried someone's gonna steal it. Maybe one of the neighborhood kids, and then I worry about the cats and stuff in the neighborhood. You never know with those kids.
Valid point, for sure. And I see your partner Dan's been doing pretty good with rings.
Yeah, you know what? He went on a 16-day vacation, and then he's like, did you get any of my messages? I'm like, I didn't get any messages. He's like, I found 6 rings or something. I'm like, what, you jerk off?
That was pretty cool, eh? And he never got a ring. So that was cool. It was nice to see. But
yeah,
I didn't want to hold you guys up, but I really wanted to call and send a I don't know, a video hug.
Video. Why, thank you.
Support you, and DJ, I'm hoping one day still that we could maybe go on a hunt together, but I don't know when that'll be or whatever. It's just been too hot, and I've been too busy, and I've been fishing and going here and going there, and
I know.
Sounds like all of us.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know. I need more playtime, actually, you know. I know
lots more.
But yeah, treasure hunting.
Lots more playtime.
But anyway, I'm not going to hold you guys up, and yeah, I'll check the video when I get a chance and go back in time and see what the heck he
said. Oh, you'll love it. You'll love it.
It's too bad you couldn't do the Wayne's World rewind thing where they're like, and you go back in time. It never works out. People like think I'm crazy.
Hard to do that live.
I know.
It's like, huh?
That's right, Ed. The other Ed. You need to be retired like me.
Hi, HD Shovel Ed, the other Ed, by the
way. Hey. Now, before you go, Chrissy, I want to ask, what does the O at the end of Outdoorsy Gal O stand for?
Anything you want.
Okay, I'm just wondering why it wasn't outdoorsy gal, eh?
You know what? That's probably would have been way better, but never thought of it. But when I went to go on YouTube originally, all the outdoorsy gals and girls were gone. One of them has like 3 subscribers, and they still have outdoorsy girl or something. And I'm like, really? Give it up. I'll take it. You know. But I didn't know what to do. But I wanted to be outdoorsy gal because my mom always called me that growing up. And I just put an O on the end because we're from Ontario, but my videos could be anywhere. You know, Omimi, Aurelia,
Right.
Oro, Owen Sound. Doesn't always have to start with O, but or you could just go, oh, her again.
Oh.
Again.
Just the way
Good
it
night,
was.
Ambient.
Yes, thanks
It's
for
nice.
joining us, Ambient. And I'm
Good to
sure
see you guys
Jim
again.
from Video Calling Show has to be going soon to get ready
Jim.
for his show at 10 o'clock.
Hey, Randy, Scotty, Tony, what's up, buddy?
Hey, Randy, Scotty, Tony, how you doing? Another neighbor to the west of us in Indiana.
Yep.
DJ, Deej wants to know what's the oldest coin you've dug.
Oh, 17. What was it? 1778, I think it was.
Wow. Good for
Yeah.
you.
You know what? I've been lucky enough to join the 1700s clubs 3 times, and the first time ever was my first time digging with Dan. He took me to his permission. He's like, "Oh, I've been finding these early 1800s coins," and I go, "Oh, I just found a coin. It's a 1700s coins." He's like, "You son of a get out of here!" I don't know why he saved my friend.
Beeper.
we have someone else in the waiting room, Jeff.
Okay.
Let me bring him in.
Oh,
We'll see you later. No, you can stay if you want, Chrissy.
Put him up front, Ed.
I'm bringing Jeff in. Where is he? Jeff, are you there? Hey, there's Jeff. How you doing, Jeff?
Can he hear you? Can you hear us, Jeff?
Talking.
He's not talking.
Not talking. I don't know if he can hear us.
He's not muted.
No, you can stay if you want to. Put them up front, Ed.
Oh, you need to mute the YouTube, Jeff.
Where is he? Jeff, are you there? Hey, there.
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, we hear you now.
We hear you now.
Kind of slow, it looked like on my end.
Well, you need to watch the Zoom interface instead of the YouTube.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm on the Zoom.
Okay, just pay attention and listen to the Zoom. You'll have to mute the YouTube and Colleen says we hear you.
Well, anyway, quick question is, what was your most favorite find that you've ever had, DJ?
come say hi to Ed. DJ's on.
Favorite find. First off, what a beard. Hey, Johnny. Love that beard. Oh my God. He's showing me up. I thought I was growing a nice beard. He was like, wow. I got beard envy now. Jeez. My favorite find, I tell you what, my favorite find is a gold locket that I found. Wait there 1 second.
Ooh, treasure porn.
So
I happen to have it handy. Okay, so this here is my favorite find, and I think Chrissy's actually seen this in person, but it's a gold locket that's about 120 years old, and it still has the original intact pictures.
Wow, I was gonna say it's still got some pictures in there.
Yeah, so
Nice.
it's 24 karat gold, and I took it to the jeweler, and it's a little boy and a little girl in the locket. So I took it to a jeweler, and the jeweler said, "Wow, this thing is incredible. It's 24 karat solid gold." He goes, "You know that's a quality thing because it still has the original pictures in it." And just the fact that this was someone's, family and like someone, you know what I mean? It's got a beautiful decorative design on it. It's just so personal that's why it's my favorite. I've been lucky enough to find some really cool stuff, but that's my favorite because I feel like that's someone's heart.
Okay, so did you try to find a family or anything for that?
Yeah, so the actual thing is where I found that it was a park, and they had this really old clubhouse from the early 1900s that's still standing there. So I went into the clubhouse because I figured it must be someone from that clubhouse from way
Right.
back when. So they looked at the pictures and they said, "You know what? We actually know who that belongs to." And so they told me the story of this old woman, and the people in the picture were actually her siblings who ended up
Wow.
dying when they were young.
Wow.
So she always carries them around. And I said, "Well, is she around like this?" No, she died 3 years ago or whatever at the time.
Oh.
And so I said, "Does she have any family?" They said she never had anyone. Like she had her siblings and that was it. And like, so that's why I always put that thing at the center of my display because I feel like no one's there to honor that anymore. So that sticks with me so that I have to, keep honoring, her tradition and her legacy and, her heart. Cause that was her heart. You know what I mean?
Right.
Aw,
That's
that's
cool.
sweet.
That's
Yeah.
really cool.
That's why that's always going to probably be my favorite find. I could find a gold coin and that would still be my favorite find.
Right. Right.
That's so cool.
It's
Did I
awesome.
just depress everyone? Is that what I just did?
No, we're
Wow,
at
this is
awe.
really
Awesome
I think it's
story.
cool. And what I think is even cooler is you were able to find out the story behind it.
Yeah, you know what? If I ever dig something like, that's I know is important to someone, then, I have to try and find the owner and do my, due diligence and my responsibility. Like I found a gold locket once that had a picture and ashes in it, and I ended up finding the girl that lost it. It was her mother's ashes and her mother's picture. And to return that meant more to me than the value of gold or whatever it would be. You know what I mean? Because that was like, she was so grateful. And yeah, that's why on my old permissions, if I ever find anything that relates to the farmer's family, I give it back to the farmer and say, "Hey, this is a part of your history." You know what I mean? Because they'll be able to cherish that more than I ever will.
Here's some of the comments on this. DJ Placer Chaser telling that story is a good way to keep their memory alive. David Villa, hands down, too beautiful. Hands down, too beautiful of a story. Um,
I hear an echo.
yeah,
Yeah,
someone has their YouTube volume up.
not me.
Yeah, because I was getting ready to ask you about returning stuff to people. Have you found stuff that you've been able to return? And you already said it. That's cool.
Oh yeah. I return
That's
a lot
good.
of stuff on permissions and stuff. Yeah, it's I think it's the right thing to do. I know some people don't do it, but yeah, I think it's the right thing to do. So I do it personally.
Here's a little message to you from HD Shovelhead. If you find my gold bar buried, it means a lot to me. Daniel says that could be his. Yeah.
It'll be mine, man. Let's not rule me out.
So
what do you mean? That's my gold bar.
A what if question for you. With recently there's been some really nice treasures found, and the people have spoke up about it. Jars of gold coins and this and that.
Yeah.
And of course, the government comes in. Would you announce that you found something like that?
No.
I know you wouldn't.
I'll be
No.
honest.
I know you wouldn't. I know Ed wouldn't. I know I wouldn't.
You know what? I'll tell you the conundrum with things. So, and this is not a shot at, say, archaeologists, but the problem with the archaeology world, the problem with the archaeology world now, and I know an archaeologist that quit being an archaeologist because I got like she gave me the inside information saying, you know why I quit archaeology? And I said, why? And she said, because 98% of them are crooked and they're bought out by the government or they're bought out by developers. Or I know for a fact, and I'll tell you a story here. And again, this isn't against every archaeologist because I'm friends with Laird Niven from Oak Island, and he's a legitimate, great guy that cares about history. But I had a permission that had 2 old 1800s houses on this one field. And it was about 150 acres of land. And this one particular field that was being farmed had 2 old 1800s houses on it that were knocked down in the early 1900s. So the land was going to be sold. So this archaeology company was hired by the developers to come in and do the dig or whatever. And they did the dig on this field. So I didn't touch the field until they were done. I said to the farmer, I'm going to let them do their thing out of respect for them. But if you could contact me when they've closed the field and they're all done their stuff, I'd like to come in and detect. He goes, no problem. So he calls me up after they're done. He says, they say they're all done, so you can metal detect the field now. So I said, okay, great. I went out there, and I went out there 3 different times after they had done that. And in those 3 times, I pulled out over 30 1800s coins and tons of relics that they hadn't touched. So, I did my responsible thing and contacted the farmer and said, listen, I won't feel right with myself, or I don't want to give the metal detecting world a bad name. So can you just mention to the archaeologist what I found? This is it. If they need it for some sort of, documentation purposes or whatever, let me know. So he calls me, the archaeologist, and then he calls me back and he says, okay, the archaeologist says he's not interested and not to say anything to anyone. And I go, what? And he goes, well, they've already closed the field, so they don't care. They've already released their section to the developers and stuff. So he says he doesn't care. And so I'm going, your whole job is to care about history. That's your job, is to care about history. That's what they went to
school for,
So that right there made me think, what exactly is going on with these archaeological companies now? That do they care about history? I'm sure tons of archaeologists out there do, but unfortunately there's a huge portion of them, obviously, that just care about getting paid off by big companies.
Oh yeah.
I like watching that show with Scott Walden. Is that his name?
Yeah. Hidden History or something like that.
I love that show.
Yeah.
Scott Walder.
Where he talks about the stuff that they've always been telling us is just totally wrong. It's just a bunch of shit.
The stuff they hide.
Beep.
Or even like Terry Carter would talk about stuff like that too.
Right.
In the treasure hunting community.
Yeah, you know what? I think it's a sad thing, right? I think if legitimate archaeologists utilized metal detectorists, it could be an amazing thing at discovering some stuff that's never been discovered and everything, but I just don't think it'll ever work. And I think part of the problem is they don't want us to find out the secrets, and they know that we know what we're doing, and they don't want to have certain things revealed.
Right. It's like with the prospecting community. The greenies don't want us digging up the river because we just do so much good for it,
Yeah.
If we were to clean up the rivers, there'd be no reason for the greenies.
Well, what I can't understand is when they say what we do harms the environment, and then they come in with excavators and stuff in the middle of the river or creek and say it's fish habitat enhancement. It's like, okay. To me, it's all a control issue.
Yep.
Oh, what a conundrum.
Yeah.
Plaster Chaser says, detect Area 51 and you'll find something out of this world.
Yeah, a bullet in the head.
Yeah.
Or probed.
Probed. Oh, jeez.
You'll find one of those metal things I found if you're not careful.
Right.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Well, I know DJ we got you hanging around with us for over 2 hours.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. I better get going because I think I got to change a poopy.
The daughter.
Let me tell
Not
Jeff
mine,
here,
not my own. Don't worry. It's
Jeff, if you open up your Zoom screen, you'll see bottom right hand corner. It says you'll see red letters leave meeting. Click on that.
okay. Hold on, let me see.
We got him. Oh, nope, he got out of there now.
All right.
And you got me left. I better go too. Thanks, guys.
Oh, he's there.
Yeah, I really appreciate you guys having me on, and thanks for everyone for tuning in. I really appreciate it.
Well, we really appreciate you being on with us. We've enjoyed your company. We've enjoyed your stories, and you're welcome back anytime.
Appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Yeah, this was fun.
Yeah.
Maybe next time we'll talk about getting you into gold prospecting.
There you go. There's gold in Ontario.
Oh yeah.
We have some of it, but you can't have it back.
Right.
All right, everybody. Hey, we're gonna have a flash raid over at Video Call-In Show, everybody. Mr. Lodak, if you'd be kind enough to put a link in the chat, that'd be totally awesome.
Run over there. I'll count to 3 and we'll all click.
Yeah. Jeff Miller, thank you for calling in, my friend.
Yep. That's GoPro, right?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, there's the link.
There's the thumbs up. He says good to go.
There you go, everybody. Thank you very much. Chrissy, thanks for calling in. Jeff, again, thank you for calling in. And as always,
Jeff, did you not? He couldn't get out.
Oh, I don't know.
I still see him. Oh,
he's there. And
go though. We'll see you guys soon.
Okay. See you later.
Bye.
See you, Johnny. Oh man. All right. Now, as all of you know, hey, go over to Jim's show, Video Call-In Show. We'll be there. I hope to see you there. And until next week, may you always have a flash in your pan.
You know what he says next.
Yeah, that's right. And maybe over the Labor Day weekend, it just may happen. Maybe one day, too, you'll meet us on the river. Good night, everybody. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, get better, Ronald.
Yes, no doubt, Ronald. See ya.
He says he'll be on time next week. Okay, we're going to hold you to that.
All right, excellent. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Dano, Jesse, Jeff.
Can they still hear us?
3, yeah.
2, 1.
Oh, everybody.
Good night, everybody. Good night, Good night, Ed.
Good night, John boy.
Good night, Jeff.
Just as I still can't get out of here. I don't know how to get the hell out of here.
Yeah, he's stuck.
Oh, I can boot him out if you want.
Like Twilight Zone, we control the video. We control the sound.
Thanks, Jeff. See you around, buddy.
There he finally got out.
No, I removed him. I hope he wanted to leave.
Yeah, he left now.
I think
I'm sorry if you did it.
Chrissy's still in.
I think Chrissy's still here too.
No, she's gone.
I see her on my.
I see her. Just her picture's blacked out,
You know they still can hear us.
but her name's still there.
Can you hear us?
Oh,
Good
sorry.
night, everybody.